Call of Duty was first released in 2003, but it truly ascended in 2007 with the release of COD4, because it revolutionized first-person shooter games with its multiplayer that felt like nothing before seen in gaming. That has led to COD being the best-selling game every year except for when Rockstar releases a new one. And one of the biggest things that set Call of Duty multiplayer apart from the rest is kill streaks. The reason they are important is because this is the only game to truly reward you for doing well. Well, at least they used to. When you get a lot of kills in a row, you get a kill streak that sends a dopamine hit through your body as you call it in to torch the lobby. Let's take a look back at the best kill streak from every Call of Duty. COD 4 Helicopter honorable mention goes to the UAV. We only had 3 options in this game, and the UAV was arguably the most useful, as it only takes 3 kills to get and is always a top tier streak in every game, but never quite the best. The helicopter was great for so many reasons, with the first being it got way too many kills for only being a 7 kill streak. But what made it truly great is if you waited to call it in until after you died, its kills would actually count towards you getting your next helicopter. This was a great streak to start the Call of Duty journey. World at War, Attack Dogs, honorable mention to the recon plane. I also will not be repeating kill streaks in future CODs, so dogs will not be picked again. What can I say about Attack Dogs other than that they are my favorite kill streak of all time? I love them in every game that they're in, even if they aren't necessarily the most efficient streak for their cost. In World at War, the dogs took 2 hits to take out an enemy, which was fair because they were only a 7 kill streak once again. They lasted 60 seconds, which is a healthy amount of time, and even if the dogs didn't get you the kills, they greatly distracted the enemies, allowing you to take them out easier. And they also worked on every map because they could dominate indoors and outdoors. And comment what your favorite kill streak is of all time. Modern Warfare 2 Nuke. Honorable mention to the Harrier Strike and the AC-130, which is better than the MW2 Chopper Gunner. There were so many good and overpowered kill streaks in this game, which is what kill streaks should be, overpowered. But nothing compares to the Nuke. When I said kill streaks gave you a dopamine hit when you earned them, not a single streak could outdo the Nuke. I can still remember the adrenaline rush of my first Nuke on Quarry, where I was playing with my friend Gary. My heart was pumping really fast when I exited my AC-130 4 kills off of the Nuke, and then that dopamine hit when I got that 25 kill streak to pop up on my screen. Greatest feeling in COD history. And these videos take a lot of effort to make, so please leave a like to show support. I appreciate it a lot. Black Ops 1 Blackbird. Honorable mention to the Chopper Gunner, which is the best Chopper Gunner in Call of Duty history because he was only a 9 kill streak and more powerful than the other choppers. You can't convince me otherwise, and the 11 kill streak of the Attack Dogs and Gunship were also incredible. But the Blackbird was invented in Black Ops 1, and this streak guaranteed that you would get your Chopper Gunner and Attack Dogs right after, which is what makes it the best. For those unfamiliar, the Blackbird is a UAV on steroids. It lasts 45 seconds, shows enemies as arrows on the minimap, showing you what direction they're looking, and it's constant, meaning it doesn't have 3-second updates, meaning that you have the exact location of the enemy for 45 seconds. It is unfair when you have one up. Even if you're just an average player, you can take out someone way better than you, knowing exactly where they are. Make sure to subscribe for more of the Every Call of Duty series and polls and rankings, as well as helpful and entertaining Modern Warfare 3 content. And at 100k, it's a face reveal, so hit the button again. Modern Warfare 3, the Specialist Package. Honorable mention to the Reaper, which is basically a kill streak that gave you 10 Predator missiles for only 4 more kills. I'll have footage of the Reaper and Specialist in the background. And Specialist was invented in Modern Warfare 3, and it was brought back in many Call of Duty games, but it never felt quite the same as it did in the original MW3. For those that didn't play it, it's going to be a little hard to explain how incredible it felt to go on a 7 or 8 kill streak, then getting every single perk in the game. But it doesn't stop there, because every perk was made pro, and it made you feel unstoppable. Your movement was faster and smoother, and I think that is why Specialist felt so much better in MW3, is because it was the last game with pro perks, so every other game with Specialist didn't give you pro perks because they didn't have any. Specialist was the streak package you would use if you're going for Moabs, which was the less exciting version of the Nuke, but still a great feeling to earn. I had certain maps I would always go for Specialist Moabs on, and one of them was Interchange. Not a map that I thought was particularly good, but for some reason, I would always play great on it. I just understood the spawns and the flow of the map really well, I guess. Become a member of the channel to help support me become a full-time content creator so I can make more videos and live stream more for you guys. Link is in the pinned comment. Black Ops 2 Lodestar. Honorable mention to the Swarm, which I would have picked if the whole lobby didn't rage quit as soon as you called it in. And I'd also like to give an honorable mention to the Hunter Killer Drone, which is what the Swarm kill streak was made of, but the Hunter Killer Drone was just a really cool way of giving a guaranteed kill for a few hundred points. Also, the Swarm's returning in MW3 Season 1, which is cool. But back to the Lodestar. It was just the Reaper on steroids, and it cost a little bit more, but it was insanely powerful. It also took 3 rockets to destroy the Lodestar, which made it have more health than most airstreaks that would only take 2 rockets to take out. It was also better than the Reaper because the missiles traveled faster to the ground, and you can control the missiles better because you could make sharper turns with them. So you could get those things around corners and really take people out. And while it was 1500 score to get, it was well worth it. Ghost Guard Dog. This is the cheapest streak on the list, and that was easily the most used streak in Ghost. It only took 5 points to get, and the guard dog would follow you around to protect you from players flanking around you. And while it didn't always save your life, it was an effective martyrdom, where if you got killed, the Riley-esque dog would take them out right after. It gave you the biggest bang for your buck. Advanced Warfare Bombing Run. Honorable mention to the Warbird and Paladin. The Bombing Run is essentially a stealth bomber of Advanced Warfare, and I needed to give some love to this streak in this video. So why did I pick the Advanced Warfare version? Because it was by far the cheapest one to get its 725 score, and it is still extremely effective. It was my most used streak in the game. Maybe it's partially because of the beefed up skill-based matchmaking, making it a little bit more difficult to get the expensive score streaks every game, and you could also throw in attachments to your streaks in Advanced Warfare, and they usually needed them to become good, but it made them cost more to get. However, the Bombing Run was good at base, which is why I selected it as well. If you wanted any other streak to become good, you would have to add like 200-300 points to it, but not the Bombing Run. Black Ops 3 Wraps. Honorable mention to the Dart, which was an even more powerful version of the Hunter Killer Drone, but this one you actually controlled yourself, and you could shoot missiles out of it before crashing it into someone, and another honorable mention to the Wraith, which was incredible. Now the Wraps were basically the attack dogs, which might mean I'm cheating here with not wanting to repeat streaks in this video, but they were just way too good not to be picked. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say some of you watching this video will say that the Wraps are your favorite kill streak of all time. They moved incredibly fast and were very difficult to avoid unless you shot them, and what made them great was that they only costed 1300 score, which made them easier to acquire than a streak like the Lodestar I mentioned earlier in this video. If you actually played the objective, they were easily obtainable. Infinite Warfare Warden. Honorable mention to the Apex, which was amazing, but the 1550 score made it a little bit expensive, and the Warden was more obtainable at 1100 score. And what makes the Warden so good is that it can be used like an attack helicopter guarding an area, or it can be used like an Overwatch helo that follows you around and protects you. It also has an interesting ability where you could trade active lifetime for an extra flare, helping to ensure it doesn't get shot down. Then it attacks player with either a gun turret or a missile launcher, with both having great precision. I also love that it's AI controlled instead of user, allowing you to continue to get kills on the ground while it does its work in the sky. World War II Paratroopers. Honorable mention to the fighter pilot, which is also a cheap streak that was really fun to use. Overall, I didn't think World War II had the best kill streaks, but the Paratroopers were a super cool addition. And once again, they are a little bit similar to the dogs, but I think these ones are unique enough for me to consider them completely different. When they were called in, they would parachute down onto the map, then run around and be extremely aggressive attacking the enemy. And what makes them truly unique from attack dogs is that they actually had guns and they could attack people from distance instead of needing to run all the way up to them. I almost always made sure to have the fighter pilot and paratroopers in my kill streak package for World War II. Black Ops 4 Sniper's Nest. I don't think there was ever a doubt with this one because it isn't even close. Does anyone remember the Helo Scout from Ghost, where you as the player were the sniper in the helicopter? And it was awful because it was so hard to actually aim out of the moving vehicle? Well, if you switched out yourself and had 2 AI snipers with aimbot, it becomes the best score streak in the game by a mile. Black Ops 4 had the slowest time to kill in any Call of Duty, and the 2 snipers in the helicopter would one-shot every single player. It is one of the most incredible streaks to run ever, and it only costs 1350, but it could actually be lowered to 1050 with the ComSec device. I will put it out there that this is my favorite kill streak added to Call of Duty in the last 6 years and want it to come back. Modern Warfare 2019 Beetlejet. This is just the Harrier strike with a different name. It starts off with essentially a precision airstrike before circling back to hover over an area like an attack helicopter, but how the Beetle differs from the Harrier is that it is actually an 8 kill streak instead of 7, and it can also be called to move to different points of the map with the press of a button. If it wasn't shot down so easily, you would get 7 to 8 kills every single time you called it in. But that's one of the problems with AR kill streaks in more recent Call of Duties. Everyone has a class with a rocket launcher and cold-blooded to shoot down your streaks now. Cold War Air Patrol. This is easily my most hated score streak system and my most hated score streak in Call of Duty history. But just because I don't like it doesn't mean it isn't the best in the game. Cold War made all score streaks like support kill streaks because dying didn't reset your score, it just counted your overall score in the game, which made all score streaks cost way more to get. So while the Air Patrol did cost 2,700 points, that was actually relatively cheap. This system made it nearly impossible to earn your big streaks more than once, like the Chopper Gunner that costs 8,000 or the Gunship that costs 10,000 points. But the Air Patrol that every bot could get easily every single game would shoot down the Gunship and Chopper Gunner in 1 second, making these streaks completely useless. The Air Patrol is the fun killer. If someone actually had to earn it with a 10 kill streak, then it wouldn't be nearly as bad. Absolutely awful system, an absolutely terrible streak for fun. Vanguard Flamethrower. This thing was way too good for a 7 kill streak. It reminded me of using the Black Ops 3 Purifier with how good the range and damage was. You basically just had to hit them with it and they'd catch on fire and die in 1 second. But it helped if you just held down the trigger because it would get rid of them a little faster. And the really nice thing about the Flamethrower was even if you died while using it, you would still have it when you respawn. But there was still a penalty for dying with the Flamethrower out. They would take 20% off the fuel every single time you died. The Flamethrower was just a fun streak to use. Modern Warfare 2022 Chopper Gunner. Honorable mention to the VL Jet, which was disqualified for already being picked earlier. I can't believe we got all the way to Modern Warfare 2022 without picking a Chopper Gunner or AC-130. And I ended up picking the Chopper over the Gunship because it was a 10 kill streak while the Gunship was a 12. And since they're essentially equally good, being cheaper makes it better. It's simple math, like 2 + 2 = 4. The Chopper Gunner would last 45 seconds if it doesn't get shot down, and is armed with a turret you fire unlimitedly for the 45 seconds, and then you get 3 air-to-land missiles. This kill streak would have been unstoppable if it wasn't for the 3 to 5 second spawn protection on players. Another thing they did to protect bad players these days, they added that onto the protection players already got with the red boxes not showing up around enemies for the first few seconds of spawning, and I have no problem with that, just the spawn protection with the extra health, which gives them time to get a rocket off and destroy your chopper that you worked so hard for. My trick was using the missiles on the spawn protection players, still fun to use, but nerfed by the game's design. Modern Warfare 3, the remote turret. The VTOL Jet is of course still great, but you know the drill at this point. I never thought in a million years I would pick a sentry gun as the best kill streak, but here we are. They actually removed it from MW3 for a few days because it was so broken, but when they brought it back, it was still deadly. It locks on so quickly and is insanely powerful. Don't even get me started on how crazy good it is in hardcore. But regardless of the mode, this thing goes for headshots half the time. The only thing annoying about it is that it's a remote turret, and if you play on controller, you know the reload button is the same as the button to control the turret yourself, and sometimes you accidentally go into the turret and get killed, but it's still really good. I'm curious if you guys would change any of my picks for the best kill streak. Let me know in the comments. And if you're curious how the community feels about multiplayer, check out this video. Peace.